reader friends.
Hello, reader friends.
We really enjoy dancing to the countdown video. It's a lot of fun for us.
It's our little tradition. We should actually get a video of it one of these days as proof. We're really back there, guys.
We're really into it, yeah. Speaking of, my dog is really into chewing a bone right now. So if you guys hear funny noises, it is my dog.
I'm glad he's happy.
Yeah, he's on my yoga mat right now. He likes to claim my yoga mat as his own. But then it's funny because he's like a dog doing downward dog. And it's like, it makes me laugh.
Like, this is dog meta right now.
Right. It just makes me so happy. I'm like, you're a living pun. Yeah. So I'm drinking hot chocolate that may or may not have some salted caramel Kahlua in there. Yeah, it tastes delicious. So that's what I'm drinking.
That sounds like something that belongs on Pinterest.
It's delicious. I'm really enjoying it.
Okay, cool. I am way more boring, and I have like herbal berry tea with a lot of honey because I just had some like spicy food.
Mm.
So that's what I'm following it up with.
Well, the mug's cute.
Yosemite.
Oh my God, that just makes me think of. So I'm really into TikTok lately. I like spend a lot of my time on TikTok, not making anything, just obsessively scrolling. And I saw somebody is creating, she already created different maps for like national parks and like did illustrations with the maps. Like she illustrated maps. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I don't know why I thought this. I was like, this seems like something Kateri would really like. And it's not like you've told me before that you're really into national parks, but I literally was like, I feel like Kateri would really like this. And now your mug.
Lo and behold. Well, maybe because I went to Joshua Tree. That's like the one COVID excursion like bit of travel I've done, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we went to Joshua Tree National Park in November. And weren't there for very long, but it was awesome. And I grew up visiting Yosemite because I'm from Modesto, California. It's like 3-hour drive from there. Moved down to Santa Barbara, Southern California area, and like most people I meet have never been, which is really interesting to me. Where it's like this like wonder of the world. It goes to show, like how where you live really does matter.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, good idea. If you're here, say hi. We're just in such a chatty mood.
Please tell us hello. Hey, this is one of our newest big supporters, Chad. He, I don't know, was this one of your resolutions to like get more involved in the book club? Because if so, that's awesome.
You're winning. You're definitely doing it. Thank you for the support. We really appreciate it.
Yes, we love it when you guys interact with us on here or on Twitter. Okay, cool. Yeah, it was one of his resolutions. That's amazing. That's awesome. We love you for it.
Yeah, definitely. And anyone else, please feel free to say hi. We're, the point of our happy hours is to just have community time, friend time, talk about books, talk about whatever else. Sometimes our conversations can get pretty serious, so we like to keep it chill sometimes.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, I like it. Oh, also, we forget to mention this, but if you have a different name on here on like if you're on YouTube watching this, I guess, and then a different name on Twitter, and you like interact with us there, but then you might show up differently if you're on YouTube. And that's me, where like I comment on like more people get it now, but like my name on YouTube is the librettist, which is like something else entirely not Yang Gang related, obviously. And so like no one knows me, and I'm like, book club.
It's me, it's Kateri, I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my name is boring. It's literally just my full name.
But you have the spelling. You're Meghin with a high. So
yes, Meghin with a high. That is. I mean, your spelling too, though. Like if you, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I see you so much on social media. I immediately see your username, and I'm like, oh, that's Kateri.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your picture.
Yeah.
Your picture. Your distinct, like high cheekbones. Your face is so great.
Oh, you do. So what are we reading this month?
Yeah, let's talk about that while my dog is chomping on this bone over here.
Oh,
he's so so this is our book.
Blueprint for Revolution.
You say this time.
Okay, so we think it's called we think you say it's Srdja Popovic.
Yeah, that's how I say it.
You know what we haven't done yet? We're bad. We shouldn't. He has a TED Talk. I haven't watched it yet. Oh, I'm sure he probably says his name in his TED Talks. We should watch it. We should share it on the book club page for sure.
Yeah.
And I love the title's really great, but I think the subtitle is almost better than the title. How to use rice pudding, Lego men, and other nonviolent techniques to galvanize communities, overthrow dictators, or simply change the world. It's really long, but it's
yes. I actually just read recently the Lego men part because some of it I'm like, okay, I read the rice pudding. Think C is Popovic.
Oh, actually, I wondered that.
Popovic.
And that didn't follow up. But thank you, Chad. You're probably right because it is like has some sort of accent on it.
Yeah,
we're just struggling so hard. We should move on. But thank you, Chad.
We really try, and I think that's what's important.
So yeah, what are you thinking about it so far? What are your thoughts so far, Megan, on this?
Oh my gosh, I'm so ready for this discussion because the more I read this book, the more fired up I get. And like I read this at night, like before I go to bed. I started that because of you, Kateri, actually, and because I'm like, I'll just read a chapter before bed. And it's not a book to put you to sleep. It's a book that gets you fired up. And so then my mind starts racing and I'm like, oh man, what can I do? Like, what movement do I want to start? Like, what do I want to do? What can I change? What needs to change around here? And how can I do it in the funniest way possible? And I've told Kateri some of my ideas, but I'm not going to tell you guys until the discussion. You'll just have to come.
Yeah. To learn Megan's ideas. She's already got lots of ideas. Come to our official discussion, which we can say is January 30th. And well, first of all, and we haven't done we need to especially since it's getting towards the latter half of the month. If anyone who is reading along with us with this book this month, and you want to you have ideas yourself, in general or specifically to Yang Gang UBI movement right now. And you want to come on, just let us know. We just have to send you a link and you can contribute, even if you come on for 10 minutes, whatever's, in your comfort zone. But we have invited on some other special guests. So it's going to be more of a panel discussion, with some familiar Yang Gang, awesome people.
Yep.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah. What are you thinking about the book so far?
Pretty much the same thing. This is something that I wanted to find the best way to tweet about. I am too much of a writer where I have drafts of tweets and then I'm oh, it's to this, it's to that, and I just don't tweet it. It's not perfect. I don't tweet it anyway. That's why you never see my tweets. So it reminds me of two movies that would get me kind of feeling the same way as a kid. And I'm really curious if anyone watching probably people have seen these movies. They're not that special. I used to get my favorite one, the number one movie was Chicken Run.
Okay.
The animation movie, Claymation. Oh, really? Well, I probably would tweet not bangers if I tweeted more, but dang. I really appreciate that.
Be like me, just throwing things into the
Yeah, we're like
opposite. Eventually, someone will think this is funny.
Yeah. Which I feel like Twitter is like that. Like you are just like throwing spaghetti at a wall and you want.
Oh yeah, it's like, what's that? This is a tangent. Hold on, sorry, but you know, in the movie Anchorman, when he's like, "I'm just, gonna throw something at you," and like just throw it right back. I butchered that, but anyways, that's basically me on Twitter. It's like, I'm just gonna throw this out. We'll see. So, anyways, Chicken Run.
Oh yes, Chicken Run. Mm-hmm. Has anyone seen Chicken Run?
Yeah, like that part. Put your head between your legs.
My favorite is I don't want to be a pie. I don't like gravy. Yes. oh, and then
also does impressions.
What's the other one? Only the ones I've seen a million times. Filthy Americans showing up late for every war, overpaid, oversexed, and over here.
That is very applicable.
So, yeah.
Sometimes.
I want a shirt that says that. I just realized that. Anyway,
someone make
this probably still sounds really random, especially if you haven't seen this movie. Anyway, essentially the plot is that the chickens are being slowly like killed and baked into pies, and then they find out that the human owner is gonna like actually start a like chicken pie business, and that she's like ordering all this like equipment to like have a bunch of like literally like she'd go through all those chickens in like an hour. Anyway, it's funny. And so they devise a plan to escape their like chicken coop that's like super caged. And so they're like chickens who are like, we need to fly. And so they like try to turn like their chicken coop, like their little hen houses, into a flying machine. And then they end up like they're on bikes and they're like they actually get like this. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so for some reason it reminds me, that's how that movie would make me feel, because they like there's like the montage when they're all like, he's like, you need thrust, like thrust. And so it's just like it's that feeling of like us against the world, like we're gonna band together and we're gonna fly.
Yeah, I see that.
That's what it makes me think of. It also makes me think of the Jimmy Neutron movie, which is very similar. Because in the Jimmy, I think it's like the main Jimmy, the first one. They have to go out and build like they turn like amusement park rides into like little rocket ships. Yeah, and they don't even have like any like glass. When they actually do get into space, there's like no glass. They're just like in a little rocket ship ride. Anyway, that like, yeah, let's go get in charge. We got this.
It's almost like a complete like, because when you're a kid, like you believe in yourself like wholeheartedly, and no one can tell you differently. And then it's like as we get older, and I don't know why this is. I think about this a lot actually, because as a kid, I just did not give a fuck like at all. I much like I am now, I had like no attention span. I just say whatever was on my mind, do whatever I want. And then as you get older, I think it's around like a teen, like you just become really aware of like what people think of you, and you become really aware of what you can't do, and you start focusing on that instead of focusing on like what you can do. And so it's almost like, I think it's like kind of interesting that you mentioned kind of like two children's movies, is that like it's almost like you need that like childhood confidence back, that like full-hearted belief in yourself, and like you can't tell me I can't go to space because I'm going. Or I used to say that in like fourth grade. I'm like, I'm going to Pluto and you cannot tell me different. Like just like that's what I'm doing. Like I don't know why you're looking at me like that. It's happening. Then you grow up and you're like, oh, Pluto's not even a planet anymore, so like you can't even go there. And so I think it's like
it's just disappeared.
Yeah, it's not even a planet anymore. We don't care. But yeah, it's like that cynicism of adulthood where it's like, oh no, this is just how life is, and there's not much we can do about it. But in the book, and we don't have to get too much into this, but this is like an overarching theme, so I don't feel too bad about saying it. But in the book, that's kind of a lot of what he talks about, is that the reason like people in power succeed in staying in power is because we believe that we can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
We rely on that. Like they rely on us believing that we can't do anything, you know? And so I think it's interesting because also like humor is a big theme throughout the book, and kids are hilarious, you know? So it's like, it's almost like you have to keep your like adult knowledge, but kind of act like a kid again.
Yeah. I love that. That's so true. I think we gotta, for the people that haven't picked it up and are maybe not sure if they want to pick it up, we got to give them something to, yeah, you know? So yeah, that part, I think I remember that I love that part when he goes into thinking about the dictators and one of the people he works with, because they have this organization where Otpor beat the dictator in Serbia, and then they turned it into an organization to help other people do the same thing. And so one of his colleagues is talking to some people, and I think the Maldives. And he's like, it's either the Maldives or it's Egypt. I forget which group it is that they're working with. But anyway, he's like, what's the one thing that all dictators have in common? And they kind of like get off track for a while. And then at the very end of the chapter, I think, he comes back to it, and it's like the one thing all dictators have in common is that they rely on people. So I was like, yeah. That was good. I like that part too.
Yeah, it's a really good book, and it's easy read. Srdja he's got a very conversational tone. It's like he's just telling you a story, and he just happens to be writing it down. And so it's really good to read, really easy read, like pretty short.
I'm gonna like compare it to last month's read, Humankind by Rutger Bregman.
It's like 3 times the size.
It's like 3 times the size, but it's literally underneath the hugest pile of books, and I don't feel like getting it. But it's like this much bigger, guys.
Yeah, it genuinely is. And this one is like, I always look like where did like acknowledgements start? And so like it's not even this, it's just this. Like it's just this little part right here. So it's really not a lot.
I do that too. I'm like, as soon as I get a book, especially if it's a nonfiction book, I'm like, okay, how much of this is notes?
Yeah.
How much of this do I not have to read?
How many of these are the footnotes that I appreciate you putting in there, but I am never going to look at?
Exactly.
I understand the legality of it, but
yeah,
it's happening. But yeah, okay. It's called Canvas. I was trying to figure out the name of it. It's called Canvas.
Oh yeah, the organization is Canvas. Otpor, I think probably they chose a different name because they try to like, I think, preserve Otpor as like, there is no leader of Otpor, and it's not a nonprofit. Like there's no establishment to it. Like that's why I think it's has been effective. Is it's like it's more of just like a model, and then different cultures and different people who have different situations can take the model and then adapt it to like what their needs are. So anyway.
Yeah, and this is like what he and his like colleagues teach. And so this is literally a manual. Like at some point he is literally like, step 1 is this.
Yeah. First you do that, then you do this.
Yeah. Step 2 is this. And yeah, so it's literally a manual. It's like honestly phenomenal. I knew it was going to be good because like it was on a pretty good list of books. But I don't know if I was expecting it to be like as good as it actually is.
Yeah, no, me too. It's going to be one of my favorite books of all time. I can tell, just because of how like it's going to change my worldview. It already has changed my worldview. And like, I guess that really just sums it up. And just like made me feel so charged, that feeling, the chicken run feeling. It's the chicken run feeling.
The chicken run feeling. We coin a lot on this channel.
Yeah.
The chicken run feeling is now shorthand for revolution. Chicken run feeling.
My 10-year-old self is like,
watching it, Tim, like Anastasia, like
yes.
I thought about that the other day. I heard Once Upon a December, and I was like, oh man.
I teach that song For those who don't know, I'm a dance teacher. I teach little kids and older kids, and I use that as one of our like play pretend games. It's the Broadway version.
It's such a hauntingly beautiful song, and I heard it the other day on TikTok, of course, and I was like, I started singing, and I was like, you know what? I forgot how much I love this movie.
It's the best.
Good movie.
Best soundtrack. Yeah, we haven't finished it yet. So Chad reporting. He says the ending fire almost explicitly applicable to Yang Gang. And that'll be the big thing that we have to talk about, is because the book is about overthrowing dictators, which thankfully is not where we are.
Yeah.
But really, like, especially for the UBI movement, like, yeah, we'll have lots to discuss. It'll be a very, very interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a lot of other things to talk about, Megan. Kind of a housekeeping thing, sort of, / we're going to pressure you guys. For those of you who don't know, we have a very fun community project called Wednesdays We Write.
Yes.
Wednesdays We Write.
Yes.
And yeah, we just wanted to encourage you all to participate. We post a fun writing prompt on Wednesday mornings, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m.
Noon. Yeah, noon.
And so the goal of the project is to, it doesn't matter that if you consider yourself a writer or not, if you think you're good or not, get the prompt, write something, post it.
Yeah.
Love each other and our writing and our words and our thoughts.
Yes. I mean, no, but yes. Like, it's not homework and that you have to study or anything.
It's creative. It's creative.
Yeah, we're not grading it.
Creativity is good for your brains, guys.
Yes. It doesn't have to be good. I've written a lot of trash throughout my days.
Good trash.
It's gourmet trash. So just write and try not to edit, because we don't. Like Kateri and I, what
I make like a couple edits as I write. So I'm not like, I'm going to write this and then I'm going to sit on it and edit it, you know? But I just am an editor as I write, which I need to work on and get better, which this is helping me do. Yeah, you could just also like, you see a lot of people like write a Word document and screenshot it. I do that. I think Meghin does that. Actually, Meghin does like really cool things on Canva. I think I need to get on your level. But you can also just tweet it. You could like write a haiku and just tweet your haiku or something like that. That's all we ask for. Okay, so we want to see some of you guys because we want the future happy hours to have the return of our Yang Gang story time segment. Yes. OG Yang Gang book club. Right there, right?
Yeah, almost a year ago.
Oh my God! How? Yeah, if you want a fun time and see Meghin with very different hair, go back to
drastically different. Oh my God, it was like.
I mean, it could have been like a different color. At least it's just the same.
Yeah.
We have some old ones, but yeah. And so then essentially we should explain what Yang Gang Start Time is when we will read your submissions. Well, like, it's actually really fun. It's really, really cool to like, I think it's cool to like have your submission read out loud. Trust me, we make it sound so good. Like,
oh yeah, we have pleasant voices.
Yeah, they're very pleasant.
You know, and as English majors, we had to read a lot out loud. So
yeah.
You get good at the cadence.
Yeah. And we've also done story times with Greg Ellis, who he's a professional voice actor and does like video game work and has friends who are voice actors. I know. And so, yeah, and then so we can occasionally maybe have some professionals actually read your stuff. That's like, that'll be, you know, not super frequent, but
no,
we have goals here, and
according to his whims.
Yeah. But so anyway, so yeah, look out for that. So we have there's one coming out on next Wednesday, and Megan and I will do this one. We did miss one or two recently as well. So
Yeah.
wanted to rally the crew around Wednesdays we write.
School just got back, so I've been focusing a little bit on that.
Yeah.
And
then the other thing we have is that obviously we'd be remiss if we didn't just at least have a round of applause for our friend Andrew and his mayoral run. Very exciting stuff. We've actually never been the Yang Book Club with Andrew Yang in a race. Okay.
Yeah, we started like it was like instead of getting sad, we were like, no, we're not going to be sad. We're going to read books.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, so already, I think like the fact that we've had a couple cool things come our way already, like behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Like right after he announced, so it's cool. Like we're feeling the energy. I'm sure you guys are all feeling the energy. Neither Megan and I live in New York City, so like don't expect us to.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get very involved. I don't live there. I don't know what the issues are,
but happy for him nonetheless, and yes. for the movement also. Happy for the movement. That's the one.
Sorry, this one piece of hair keeps going into my eye. It wouldn't be a live stream without me messing with my hair, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly. So yes, we are happy for him. I love that we are getting so much more Evelyn too.
Oh my gosh, yes, finally.
I have exactly 2 TikToks that I made, and they are both duetting his mayoral video. And one of them is just me completely standing like Evelyn.
Yeah.
Because she has like that, like almost like, I don't know, it was like 10 or 15 second chunk of time where she's just talking. And I'm like,
who lived for that moment? Oh my gosh. That's the first time I've ever seen, I want to say a lot of firsts. Obviously I don't really know because there's probably a ton of presidential politician campaign videos. What the fuck do you call it? Out there that exist that I've not seen. But it's like, I feel like it's got to be one of the few that have the candidate skateboarding, playing piano, and their spouse. But I will say, in a particular instance, it's the candidate is a male and it's his wife.
Yes.
Saying, by the way, this is what you should do. Like,
yes.
Here for it.
A lot of hot dogs.
I bet.
I think there were like 2 shots of like just hot dog. It's like just a hot dog. And I was like, is he going to eat the hot dog?
Yeah.
Is he just going to hold the hot
dog? Yes, I agree. We agree. That thing was awesome.
Honestly, one of the best campaign videos I've ever seen from him.
Oh yeah.
Like I think the best, to be completely honest with you. Super good. Yeah, she's very classy.
So classy.
I
found out recently that the traditional definition of class is actually your ability to, I think it's like maybe etiquette is like assumed, but to be a part of it, but like it's supposed to be your ability to make other people feel like welcome and important.
Oh, then she's like OG classy.
Yeah. Because I feel like I always thought of the idea of classy as like they're refined, like they're fancy and obviously probably somewhat well off, which is just, sadly that comes into play. And then, like refined, I guess. But it's really not that. It's supposed to be or at least I heard, I guess, I don't know. I could look it up right now, but I won't. I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, like, so classy, like, is like the idea of like, it's more like graciousness. It's more like making someone feel welcomed and like they're important, like you care, I like that.
Original definition: having or showing class, elegant, reflecting high standards of personal behavior.
I love it. You should totally tell him that. She's really doing her job really well, Mr. Weedman. Megan.
Anyways.
Anyway, am I right? Or is my...
Let's see. I'm still looking. High class, rank or grade, stylish, elegant. First recorded in 1890. That's an old word. Huh. I kind of want to ask. I follow this guy sorry. I'm about to like say TikTok too many times, but he's like really into words, and that's why I follow him. I bet he would know. I mean, I'm not seeing it, but informal word for elegant.
Yeah, I mean, it could be more of like a social, more like a social, like Urban Dictionary version of the word.
This, I found a whole article talking about how we should not stay classy because it was a classist word.
Classist, yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'll look into it more later, but
Megan will.
I will, because once I start thinking about something, I'm like,
you just have to get to the bottom of it.
I have to. It'll be my new obsession.
Very cool. We have a question. What system are you girls using? Do you mean for the video or the dictionary? Or I can't think of anything else.
Yeah. San Diego.
What is happening?
Another Anchorman quote. Oh, for the video. Oh, we use StreamYard.
Yeah. Would recommend. We do use the paid for version, but the free version is a good, I would say start with the free one and then upgrade if you like it enough. But it's good.
Yeah.
Very good. We also, there's actually so much more you can do. I use it for one of my jobs. So we have like my friend who's also works, does video, and like she's actually able to figure out how to do all sorts of, we do like a reading rainbow kind of thing where like the picture comes up of the book we're reading, and then like you can hear us in the background, and then we do a dance, and it's fun. Anyway.
You can just ask her to do it for ours.
Yeah.
Teach a class. Teach us once. Just once.
Yeah. Actually, we could do that. And then we can like that could be a cool thing to do for our book club discussion, book club reports. That's what we call them. Book club reports. We could put like the text.
Yeah, so it's not like just our face the whole time.
But yeah. Okay. So the other thing that we have on the docket is we had a request. I don't know if Lacey's here. Lacey, are you here? I should text her. We're going to talk about some of our favorite books of all time. I had the idea to talk about our favorite books of last year, but I realized Megan was in grad school, so I don't know how much. Did you read much more beyond the book club list? Yeah. Pull out your books, guys. We want to hear if you have a favorite book from last year as well, or favorite book of all time.
I read a lot of Meg Cabot.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. I remember that now.
Yeah, I read a lot. Okay, my favorite book of last year, actually, I know exactly which one it is. It's called The Possessions by Sarah Flannery Murphy. Actually, we follow each other on Twitter. And her new book is actually coming out, I think, in June. But basically, The Possessions, I don't know. It's one of those books that, so I just like go to used bookstores. It's one of my favorite things to do, and just like get books. I don't go there looking for certain books or like mainstream books. I look for books that like, I don't know, I have weird criteria. Like,
exactly the same.
Yeah, like the touch has to have a certain feel, has to have a certain like aesthetic. I know we're not supposed to like judge books by their covers, but I totally do. Like, like actual books, I do. And like a certain like look. And this one kind of had both, like the cover feels nice and it's very like appeasing. like aesthetically, and like the description sounded cool and it was pretty cheap. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll just get this one. And I like go into a lot of those books that I buy with like zero expectations because I'm like, oh, this is like a book someone got rid of, so maybe it's not that good. And so I like started reading it and it's like so good. It's one of those books that I keep thinking of like every once in a while. But essentially it's a book about, I think it's like they found a way to like channel people's spirits by taking like a pill, and they could become like a host body for like a few hours. And it's like regulated. It's almost like the equivalent of like, I guess, sex work, where like you could go off and do it on your own, but it's not really like heard of. Most of the times you actually are like in a place like where you have like bosses and stuff. And it's like, so you would go in and someone would bring you like their like dead family member, loved one, like a scarf or like lipstick or perfume. And then you would take the pill, and then that person's spirit would come like possess your body, and they could like spend time with them. And it sounds really weird. And the whole time I was kind of thinking like, it's a weird conversation because it's like, would you want your loved one to like just be at peace and for you to be able to just move on? Or would you want to have that option to like talk to someone that you haven't gotten to talk to? And they have like rules. So like you weren't allowed to call back somebody who died tragically or at their own hand. And you weren't allowed to like, so like police officers couldn't try to like figure out who killed someone through this. So there were certain rules and like limitations. So anyways, throughout the time, the woman who is the main character, she ends up like falling in love with the person, and his wife, the person he's like calling back, they end up like occupying the same brain. Anyways, it's like very sci-fi in a way, but really good. And it's also kind of true crime-ish as well. So it does have that like element of like my favorite type of stuff, which is the true crime. But it just caught me off guard because I really wasn't expecting to like it. But it's one that like I do think about time to time, because it's like, oh, like would I want to like talk to my grandma again? You know what I mean? Or would I rather her just like be at peace and like it would make me sad all over again, right? Like it's like she's not actually here. So yeah, it was like a really like surprising read for me. I think it was a surprising favorite.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, definitely. I remember when you told me about that and how you were excited that the author had followed you on Twitter, and yeah, that does sound like a really cool book. I really like kind of speculative sci-fi like that. I think that's like what you would call it, where yeah, it's not like really hardcore. It's like very familiar, and it's very like existential, you know? It's like anyone can relate to that in a way. I mean, like not because it's like, whoa, that's weird, but yeah, a writer can present it in a way where like it is relatable because you can just like imagine yourself in that situation. And
yeah, and it's almost like like having to do that too, you know what I mean? Like it was almost it was made so like people who become like the possessions are like people who like run away from home and don't have anywhere else to go, or they don't have any other skills, or like they themselves have like lost loved ones and they're like, well, I don't have anybody, so I guess the next best thing is like helping other people talk to their loved ones.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
What about you?
So I'm trying to think. I think actually a lot of the books I read were on audio. So I am, I guess, going to keep it away from the book club book because we've talked about the book club books quite a bit. And this is an opportunity to talk about some different books. So I'm looking at my list. Okay, so I really, really enjoyed, and the audiobook was particularly good, Longborn by Joe Baker. So anyone here who's a fan of Jane Austen, you know, it's a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, but from the perspective of the servants. And so interestingly, this is kind of a book that I would like want to have like I would want to have a book club discussion and like have Scott Santons come, because it actually goes into, in a roundabout way, because it's a novel, it actually goes into like concepts of work and like work and class, I guess. I mean, obviously, if you read a Jane Austen novel, there's lots of talk about class, but it's still from a like privileged perspective, because she's writing about aristocrats essentially, or like middle class people at the very least. Mm-hmm. Some of her characters are lower class, of course, but I think there's like, she only has like one novel that's kind of more from the perspective of someone who's more like kind of lower class. Anyway, so yeah, so Longbourn is the name of the house that the Bennets live in. So anyway, so yeah, it's about the main character is Sarah, and so she's one of the main maids, but you also hear about all the other characters. And so yeah, it's just really beautifully written, and there's like romance, and then, you know, there's all this just like, it's just so interesting, like getting the perspective of like, you see the story that, you know, with Pride and Prejudice playing out, but it's like interestingly irrelevant to everything that's happening on the side. And so that was kind of like a statement in and of itself. And then like the few times that they're something that you would definitely recognize, like coming home late from a ball where you know what's happened at that ball, that's like really important to that story. But then them coming home late is like ends up being influential to the servant's story in a like completely different way. And yeah, and it's just really interesting because like it's like that classic tale of like Sarah, who's the maid, is like, she's a very, very like creative and like outside of the box thinker, and she's really, really thoughtful. But then she's that classic like, you know, she was never gonna affect the world. Like, you know, like she's stuck being a maid for the rest of her life. But then it ends up kind of being about how like, even in that situation, like she still is able to find joy and happiness. Yeah, but it goes into like all of their relationship with their work, like the older people, and then like there's a two older couple that they're like the heads of the staff, and then there's Sarah, and then there's a younger girl, and then there's the guy that comes in. And so anyway, it was just so cool because it was like beautifully written, had like this like romantic element, had the element of familiarity from the original story, but then like was really, really thoughtful, and like had like all these really interesting things to say. So I love a novel like that, and it was well read as an audiobook. Yeah,
I can definitely attest that was one that you were excited about.
Oh
yeah. It's interesting because we have a lot of conversations like offline, like I don't know, all the time, like literally all the time. And so it's interesting, like the things that like we hear each other talk about, you know, like I talked a lot about The Possessions. I know I did. And you talked about this one. And like I remember you just being like, this is so good. Like I'm really into this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just really cool because like that I can definitely attest that was one of your favorite reads.
Yeah, we can both verify. Like, yeah, she really did like that book.
It's always,
I'm doing it right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, you guys comment. Let us know what was a book that you really enjoyed reading last year. Could be nonfiction, fiction, poetry, essays, memoirs. Let us know.
And of course, you can let us know if you had a favorite of the books that we read.
Yes, definitely let us know if you have a favorite, and if you don't know what all of them were, or you're curious about a few of them, if you go to our pinned tweet, I think there's a link to our bookshop information, and you can find all of the books on our bookshop link.
I should actually put that link going forward. The link for this book is in the description. I know I did that.
I think you can get to our thing from.
You can get there from there. Yeah, you really want to. Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Scholastic Book Fair. Those were my jam.
Oh yeah.
That was like the one thing I looked forward to, like, in elementary school.
Right.
I was like, I mean, I got so much. My mom would like take the day off early to come to the Scholastic Book Fair with me.
Wow.
Like that was like our thing.
Wow, that's impressive. My mom wouldn't do that, but she was very supportive. Of course, she was a reading teacher. We both. This is, all the similarities between Megan. We both had
Our
moms.
moms are reading teachers.
Yeah.
We both have English degrees.
We both-
We both danced as kids.
yeah, a lot. Anyway, okay, yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else have a good book or a book? Any book. Any book.
Mhm.
Any book.
Also, children's books do count, by the way. I know it's kind of a joke, but like totally, because I sometimes will find a children's book that I'm like, wow, that is really aesthetically pleasing. I need this, and I don't even have kids or want them. So I buy children's books.
Yeah. That's a good way to do it. Just buy the books instead.
I just like to buy them. I don't know.
Read them to yourself. Whenever you get the feeling that we're apparently supposed to get as women of like, oh,
I don't know if I'll ever get that.
just open the children's book. Okay, sorry. We're not going to go on that tangent, I swear. How to pronounce knife. Okay.
I'm looking it up.
Okay. I'll let you look it up. Megan's good at it.
Is it a book of stories by...
It sounds familiar to me.
I'm not going to say that name because I'm going to butcher it. And I'm not. Okay. It is. Okay, I'm just going to read the Goodreads description. So it is basically a book of stories focused on characters struggling to find their bearings in unfamiliar territory or shuttling between idioms, cultures, and values. Oh, this sounds really good, actually.
Yeah.
I like this. How to pronounce.
That sounds like one we should consider for the book.
I know. That's exactly what I was thinking.
We love short story collections. We haven't read one yet for the book club, but it would be a really great for a topic like that. And we do try to like pick topics, for the books we read for the month. And obviously the topics tend to revolve around like issues we want to like learn more about and potentially help solve. So immigration, that's a big
Definitely, issue. Yeah.
Very boring philosophy. But then it can't be that boring if you're reading it, unless I guess it's for school. But if it's for school, then aren't you like majoring in philosophy?
Yeah. Philosophy's awesome.
Dude, yeah. There's
Yeah.
There's some people who make like philosophy essay videos on YouTube, and they're really cool. I haven't watched one recently, but I know that that's a thing.
I was just reading about different philosophies for one of my classes. It's a class for like qualitative research methods for health promotion.
Huh?
For those of you guys don't know, I'm getting my master's in public health, specifically in health promotion. I want to work in like wellness. And one of the things they're talking about is how there's like a philosophy about how like reality is a social construct. And I was like, I can't think about this too much.
You're like, I get that. Oh, really? That's what you're saying? Okay, I get it. That's enough.
Yeah, I'm like, I do not read into this any more than I am. First of all, because like alternate reality stuff, like I get super into that. I get so into it. But also, like, if you're telling me like reality is a social construct that like we as humans like created to like, and I know what they're saying. They're not saying like reality as a whole is like something we made up. Like obviously, like we are living like right now, but it's more so like how we like our perceptions of reality. I think like what is reality to me might not be the same reality as like you're living. Anyways, I just like couldn't read it too much because I was like, I can't. My ADHD brain, like I can't get obsessed with this. I have to
reality over there.
Like, oh my gosh, I can't get too obsessed with this and go down too many rabbit holes. I have to do my work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think philosophy can be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
hard to recommend. Yeah, you know what, Chad? Then you might actually like the Rethinking Humanity podcast with Lacey and Sonia.
Yeah. Or if you do, let us know if you're a fan, because we are definitely a fan of that podcast.
Throw that up there.
Definitely, like, they are similar to us in that they go through a book. It's called To Have or To Be by Eric Fromm. But then they also have other episodes that are not going through the book and having really interesting guests that they interview. Yes, thank you, Megan. Interview people, and it's literally just about like how can we like rethink our society to make it better and make us healthier and happier. And I love it so much.
It's really good. It's really good.
If you're Yang Yang, I don't see how you couldn't like love that podcast.
It's really good.
So the other thing, and by the way, if you're here, like, please tell us if you have a good book that you want to recommend.
Or podcast.
Yeah, or podcast.
Just recommended one to you guys.
Or a movie or anything like that. We're not here just to talk about books. But we want to hear. And so the other thing we can do, like, way we like to use these happy hours is to also like take the stuff on Twitter and bring it to slightly more real life context. And I do remember the last, I think Carter Thursday was, what are 3 things that you think would make your community better? And obviously you don't have to have 3, if you don't, it's just an arbitrary number, but even just one thing.
Yeah. I think the one that I put on our book club Instagram was we did, it's not out yet, but we just talked about on the Fun Time Program podcast about libraries and the importance of libraries and how like they're really, I feel like a very like undervalued part of society. Like we're talking about that because we're talking about how we use like the Libby app on our phones to like read some of the books. And Kateri brought up like how libraries, if they had more funding, could be more of like culture centers, like community centers, along with the library. And I think that would be just like a really good thing for a community. So that's what I put on our book club, like Instagram, number 1, because it's very on brand. But number 2, just because like I think that is really important. And I think it kind of would hit a lot of things that communities need. I mean, you could like literally teach like coding classes or, you know, because I remember I had a program like that. We weren't learning how to code. We were learning how to mix music. It was like an after school program, and they would teach us how to like basically they were teaching us how to DJ. It was kind of cool. But anyways, just stuff like that where like you're teaching like creative skills to people, I think would be really cool. But obviously universal basic income, some kind of guaranteed income would be awesome. Mm-hmm. And I can't say too much more for my community specifically because I moved here during a pandemic. So
yeah, that's kind of hard.
I haven't gotten to see it very much.
Yeah, right. So I live in a place that has like some tourism, and I met a friend, sadly, like full on fell out of connection with her because she's not on social media, which breaks my heart. I need to like try to track down her email. Anyway, so she was just a really interesting person, or is, I'm sure she's still alive. And we were in France on a study abroad. Hold up.
Oh, Madison OG supporter, Manny. Hello, yeah. Hello. So happy to see you. I'm smiling because I know sometimes he likes to take pictures.
Oh, I know, right? Everyone look cute.
Hi, Manny.
Hi. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hi.
Okay.
Thanks for being here. We were talking about the last week's Think Harder Thursday, which was what are 3 or 1, even whatever, something that you think would make your community better and thrive more. So Megan was just talking about libraries. And okay, so this is like something I've always kind of, oh, wait. I just went to number 2. Sorry, I was actually talking about number 1. So thing number 1 is tourism so I met this girl who was studying to be an architect, but she's also really interested in like well, I think she was interested in like like in her degree specifying in like architecture and tourism, I guess, was really interesting, like building centers that would be helpful for tourism. And so, but she was really interested in also how like, you know, the tourist industry is not really great for like native and indigenous cultures. Or it could, but she was like saying, but it could be. And so she like introduced me to this whole topic about how like tourism could do a lot of good for the world, but they're just not going about it. And they're going about it in the like capitalist, non-human centered, capitalist, humanity first way, right? And so she had all these really cool ideas. And so I hope she's doing well. I need to try to track her email down. Anyway, so I actually live in a tourist area, and there's also a really strong Native American, like the Chumash people here. Like, obviously they've been through a lot of hardship through the generations, but like they're still freaking here, and they do a lot of really cool stuff. In fact, like Santa Barbara sadly just really doesn't have a very thriving African American community. And so I remember like during the Black Lives Matter marches, like the ones that I like saw, like there was a really big like Chumash showing up for those marches, and that, you know, so they're really present. And so I think, yeah, if you live in a tourist kind of area, I think like learning how tourism can kind of work better for the actual community and not just serve like people at the top and like just the fancy hotels and stuff like that. I one other thought. Is there such a thing as like smart streets, like traffic lights? Like, don't we have the technology for like streets to be smart, and like especially once there's actually like electric cars and stuff like that, like to help with not just like with traffic, but like waiting at the light, like you never like
sensors.
The sensor, yeah, like the sensors exist, but like couldn't it be way better?
Yeah, there's not very many of them. I feel like it's very hit or miss. Like if you're gonna get one that's on a timer or on a sensor.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if it's on a timer, you're just like sitting there for like 5 minutes.
5 minutes. I know. It's for real. Anyway, so yeah. I really do like infrastructure. I think infrastructure is always something that's like interested me. So anyway, that's like kind of a bigger thing. I guess on the smaller scale, little free libraries, man, they're all over the place here, they're already here. But anyone have a little free library in your neighborhood? You should tell us.
I love the little free libraries. Huge problem in Philly, save injection sites. Oh, we got another East Coaster. Yeah, it is a problem in Philly, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think every community could benefit from different like mental health establishments that can be there to help in various ways.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem where I was from too.
Yeah.
It's like we would probably have really.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
That's a kind of smart city. Yeah. Oh, actually, that's a topic that we've considered, guys. Would anyone be interested in having a month where we kind of look into more like kind of cool techie stuff like smart cities and stuff like that? We found some cool books that.
Yeah, it was a fiction book, right?
So there's a fiction book and there's a nonfiction book that I like want to like maybe read the fiction book and then invite the author of the nonfiction book to come on our channel.
Yes. Yeah, there are a ton near the DC area. I'm like right outside of DC. And there's a ton in like this area too, and like the Bethesda area. They're really cute. I haven't been going to them just because I don't like. At the moment, I'm not touching things that I don't like.
Yeah,
I barely like touching my groceries. So
I can feel that.
But yeah, definitely there are a lot around here.
Yeah.
What's the author's name of classical Chinese philosophy? Chad, if you could drop that down. Oh, he did. Look at him. Oh my gosh. We should have Chad on sometime.
Yeah. Got some cool philosophy book recommendations. So yeah, if you're interested in that, that is in the chat, guys. Philosophy is really cool. Philosophy needs to be more popular.
For sure.
I think the like little bit of philosophy that I was like actually introduced to, I was like, this is dope.
Yeah, philosophy is definitely really cool.
Very
I
cool.
feel like I had a list of other things. Let's see.
Well, we are at an hour, so our happy hour has been an hour. If anyone else has any questions, any suggestions for this book club, we want to hear from you. This is a great time to do it. Tell us if you're planning to come to the discussion of this. Hint, hint, please do, because you don't have to read the book to come. We say it every live stream.
But this one is very thin. Like,
yeah,
it's not a lot. It's a lot of substance in a small book.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought of that line, like, though she is little, she's fierce, from Shakespeare.
I love that line.
It might be little, but it's fierce. Thanks.
Snaps. Made me think of Snaps poetry, I guess. Very cool.
We love to vibe. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff that we are hopefully going to be able to accomplish this year. Kateri and I do have a lot of goals for the book club. If you want to hear about some of them, our friends over at the Fun Time Program podcast will be dropping our episodes soon, and we give some insider info.
Yeah, that was not planned, but we were like, fuck it.
Yeah. So we do have a lot that we would like to do for the book club. Yeah, this whole thing means a lot to Kateri and I. We take it very seriously.
It's like a passion project and more than a passion project.
Yeah, like if this could be our full-time jobs, we would do it. Yes, we would. So yeah, just know that there is a lot of exciting things in the works, and I'm starting to trip over my words.
Okay, we got this. So read Blueprint for Revolution if you can. If you can't, come on January 30th. We're gonna have friends of the book club on. Promise you that. Some of them we might have already mentioned in this episode and this live stream. If all goes according to plan, obviously. So check out Fun Time Program. It's a great podcast. Super yang. I mean, the people who run it are super yang gang. But the whole podcast is not yang gang specific. But they've had a couple episodes on UBI. They've had episodes that are on other things entirely different that are really, really cool. And like science, culture, like it's a really unique and cool podcast, and they're a lot of fun. And our episode is coming out, I think. I don't know.
Soon. He said it's almost ready. So
yeah. It might. I wonder if it might be like Monday or something, because I don't know if a lot of people drop podcast episodes on the weekends. So yeah. Anything else? Oh, participate. But we will say, since you guys are here and you're our friends, yes, we have the link, and we always encourage you to use the link. But we also understand shipping is not as good as Amazon, and it is later in the month. So do what you will, or try to get it if you have Libby. Oh wait, this is actually not an audiobook. We were shocked to learn that. Did you know that? Oh, yeah, I was talking to a friend of ours, someone who might be on the discussion on the 30th. Yeah, weirdly, I think every book we've ever picked, technically even Tyranny of Kindness, because Scott Santon's read it. I really wonder, I still to this day wonder, I was like, did you get rights to do that? Like, you just read it.
Yeah, also, I think too, it might have been like out of the copyright at that point, right? Because I think sometimes like the rights can like.
Yeah.
Because it was mean, 27 years or ish, give or take.
But that has to be, that's like public domain, right?
Yeah.
Is it really public domain? Anyway, sorry, we're gonna tangent.
Anyways,
all of our books, I believe all of our books have been released on audiobook, and that is.
I think you might be able to get it as just like, I'm searching my library right now just to see if maybe you could just get like a copy just to read. Nope, they don't even have, at least not at my library, but you can always check. I would always recommend checking the Libby app.
I wonder why. It's published by Random House. Come on, Random House. You can do better than that.
Random of them to not have it.
Random House. Really? Random House is a big. They bought now there's Random Penguin.
Oh, that sounds amazing, actually.
Yeah, I think Random House bought Random Penguin, and then am I right? Does anyone know if I'm
Random Penguin?
And then they just bought Simon and Schuster.
I mean, I would buy a book published by Random Penguin.
I know it.
Sounds like a cool band name.
That's probably what
they Random Penguin. Oh yeah,
you with the money. It was literally just so that they could say Random Penguin. That's why I would do it. And also participate in hashtag Wednesdays We Write. Pew, pew, pew.
Yes, and Think Harder Thursdays as well. And if you guys, let me see if I have this up here, but we also have an Instagram.
Oh yeah.
That is Yin Gang Book Club on Instagram. So we also put the Wednesdays We Write and Think Harder Thursdays on the Instagram as well. And we try to share them on our stories as you guys turn them in.
Yeah. And also if you even just also like, you can participate in Wednesdays You Write also by like liking and commenting on people's submissions. Like that's actually like, for so many people who do submit, like it's actually like a huge win to like have people commenting and complimenting you. So if you are not inclined to publish or submit something, that's another way you can totally participate, because it's definitely nice to, put your heart and soul into something and actually put it out there and then actually get some good feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So put that out there.
And then I guess one last thing, if you guys ever want to participate in our Takeover Tuesdays, specifically this Tuesday.
Oh my gosh.
Please let us know. You can email your video submissions here. And usually for that, usually I say like 5 to 6 videos, but if you just have 2 or 3 videos you want to make of some books that you like, or podcast, as long as it's like 2 minutes, because that's kind of the limit for Twitter. But yeah, email them here. You don't have to show your face. I know sometimes people get nervous about showing their faces. So if you don't, video the book, you can put audio into the video. So yeah, any way that makes you comfortable. As long as you're not like indecent. So yeah, just if you don't want to show your face. So yeah, just email them here. Also, if you have any, I know sometimes people want to send like Wednesdays We Write submissions or just extra submissions that you would want us to read on the Yin Gang Storytime. You can also email them here. If you have any suggestions for us, email them here.
Definitely. Cool. Our DMs are open. Let us know if you ever have any ideas or suggestions for books and such. So yeah. Thanks everyone for being here. I think this is our first happy hour of 2021. Woo-hoo.
Yay! I drank my whole drink.
I did not, but I drank half of it, which is still good for me.
So good.
Impressed. Cheers. We're going to say cheers on this one, I guess. That's going to be our sign off. See you guys later. Oh.
Oh, wait, we have a question. Yes. Do it.
I love that. Absolutely.
Listen, just create.
Just create something and share it with us. Totally.
How about that be our sign off? You guys go out there this next week and create.
Yeah.
Create. And then also clink. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. See you later.